It's the 4th of July. Yay. See Kelton's excitement?
Yeah, 4th of July.
So we are going to, their 4th of July in Ridgefield, Connecticut is not till the 9th of July.
For fireworks.
So there's a 4th of July celebration / anniversary for the museum opening today. So that includes music and fun.
Dramatic.
And a dramatic reading of the Declaration of Independence. So that's where we're heading right now. See you there.
Black on the side looks like a little cricket in the grass. Used for ship-to-ship combat. General Tryon and the British brought 3 of these cannons in the front of the column and 3 in the back just to scare people. They do make a lot of noise. And evidently when a cannonball hits your house at 200 miles an hour, it makes a racket too. And so when the British came across the barricade that we set for them, we're going to go ahead of the story here. When the British came, the Patriots had set up a barricade in front of what's now called Pisagamo. Okay. And so there was a barricade made of wagons and plows and whatever they could throw in. 2,000 British against about 400 Patriots. The first attack by the British was easily repelled because they just came right up Main Street and there wasn't the way to go. 2 minutes or 4 minutes later, they came on 3 sides. In the famed Battle of Ridgefield, 12 to 15 minutes in total duration. All the Patriots forced south along Main Street, and the British took refuge in the middle of town. They heard that the Patriots met here at the Keeler Tavern. And so General Tryon and the British said, bring a couple of those crickets up. Let's see if we can't shake those Patriots out of the tavern. And so they took, now don't forget, we built these houses starting in 1710. Every tree on Main Street was cut right down to the stump because we needed wood for our houses. So it was a very clear shot from here all the way down to St. Stephen's Church where these guys lived. They decided that they would start shooting the cannonballs this way. There were 10 or 12 people in the tavern. First cannonball went in the bottom window here on the first floor, knocked over a candle, started a small fire. Easily put out. A clue to the 10 or 12 people that were in the tavern to get the heck out, because cannonballs are coming this way. 2 Patriots are left. These are militiamen up on the 2nd floor in that window far to the end. And they're watching the British advance down Main Street. Second cannonball hits right here in this 8x8 white oak corner post that goes from there all the way to the top. The boys heard that and felt the concussion, and one of those Patriots came down to see what was going on with this cannonball that just hit. Looking around inside, looking around, he can't find any damage. That's because it's here, he didn't know. But this is not the time to come out and look around outside because cannonballs are coming this way. He decides he's going to go back to the 2nd floor to his perch up there to watch the British. Behind this door, right here on the first floor, is a staircase, only about 3 feet behind it, that goes straight up to that room. He was on the 4th step, going to the 5th step, where the 3rd cannonball came in right at the top of the door, into the wall between his legs as he was climbing the stairs, but didn't hit him. What did hit him was a big shower of splinters. From the pirate movies, you heard the expression, shiver me timbers. Well, a shiver is a wooden splinter. And when the metal cannonball hits that wood, a huge shower of splinters knocked this guy from the 5th step all the way down to the bottom. He had splinters in his face, in his neck, in his arms, in his torso. And he made a little mistake when he hit the floor at the bottom. He yelled up to his friend on the 2nd floor, "I am killed!" A little premature, perhaps. And so his friend came downstairs to pick him up, take some of the splinters out of his face and his neck. And then on each side of that door was a window they looked out. And they looked out the windows right at the corner of the property. 12 British soldiers, bayonets fixed on their muskets, and they were coming this way. Well, those 2 boys, even the hurt one, got so scared at that prospect that they took out up onto the south floor, the tavern door. And as fast as their little feet could carry it, they went down towards what was the village of Wilton. It wasn't a town yet, to get out of the way. So there's our 3 cannonballs. The British came and settled around here, around Main Street and down West Lane. And the next morning, Monday morning, April 28th, because of the losses that they had suffered in this battle, they set fire to this place on 3 sides of the house. Fortunately for us, this day, the wind was blowing 60 miles an hour from the northwest, from Scott's Ridge, down this way southeast. And the flames from this house started to hit the house next door, belonging to Hoyt. And he was a Tory. He was a loyalist. He was also Timothy Keeler's uncle. That's what we mentioned. And so he decided, because he didn't want his house to burn, that he would go into town and get permission to put the fire out, which he did. And that's why we still have the place today. 2 days later, after British left, Timothy Keeler came back into town, walking around, checking the damages out on the house, when David Hoyt comes from next door, said, "Timothy, you see a Tory has saved your house this day." Timothy, according to history books, said, "No, Uncle David, I'm sorry. I will thank God for the north wind, but I'm never going to thank a Tory for anything." Fortunately, Uncle David became a patriot later on in the war and was allowed to stay in town. Folks that did not repent were not allowed to stay. And all through the 1800s, we were called the Cannonball House. We were a hotel and in here until 1907. We were the Cannonball House, and people will forever come and say, "May I have a beer and a sandwich, and could you show me the Cannonball?" And we were always happy to do that and tell them the story. You're fine.
Sorry, we'll do it together.
We'll get there eventually.
Thank you for coming out. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's gods entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, but among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly, all experience have shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such governments and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation, till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has kept among us, in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislature. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to civil power. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burned our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny. Already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages. and totally unworth the head of a civilized nation. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attention to our British brethren. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved. And that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
You'll be fine. Can I duck someone? That's cool. So we finished our scavenger hunt, and it says oterpiotic. Oteripiact. We have no idea what it means. So they really got us, even though this is a children's scavenger hunt. So he's currently, oh, so cute.
It's not a
It's not a
word.
We might have done it wrong. Done it wrong?
Yeah. messed
They're wrong. Is that English? I think we did it wrong.
Unless you're supposed to unscramble the letters once you get it. That's not a
We
word.
challenge you to hunt for the 9 objects listed below that are placed in the campus. Some are patriotic and others represent 4th of July. Fill in the empty space next to the object. When you're done, unscramble the letters to find the mystery word.
Okay, so it's probably
There we
patriotic.
go. Wow, so fast. Okay. Patriotic. Are you sure? That was really fast.
No.
Are you good at unscrambling like that? I mean, obviously you are.
Not usually with words, but
Patriotic. No, 'cause there's maybe. T-R. Yeah, I think it is patriotic. You did it. Patriotic.
yeah, P-A-T-R-I-O-T.
P-A-C-R-I-O-T. I see. Wow, good job, babe. We were really confused what otter act meant for a while now. Like, wow, they really got us.
Yeah, I thought we were learning a new word today.
It's running away.
She's littering, I'll go get it.
Flew away.
Alright, everyone's
Alright.
closing up. Let's get out of here.
It's over. So that was fun. We wrote some letters with quill pens. That was cool. Secret. A little bit on that one. Can't share with you too much because of our viewers. And what else did we do? We ate watermelon, a really good watermelon. I went back for seconds. And we went on a scavenger hunt.
Saw a
and we learned
cannonball.
a new word, patriotic. We saw a cannonball in a wall. That was cool. Yeah, fun-filled day. Yay. Happy 4th.
Bye.